Good motivational Monday morning. I'm learning so much from talking to leaders, both nationally and internationally, about mathematics and education. And yeah, I'm back to coaching. I'm coaching New York State Ed from afar. And I want to share with you a very important message this morning. I go back to my years in the classroom teaching students of various levels of mathematics. And my estimation jar was always on my desk. Every month we had a challenge, and every month there was a winner. And every month that motivated every math student, even the ones that despised math, to put their guess in and say why. Gave you an example this morning. I'm going to pull one out from the back here carefully. Excuse my jitteriness. This is a very low budget tech video. Boom. The funniest thing I remember is when I put this on my desk one year. It had colorful little beads in it, but these are mini chocolate chips today. And I told the story to my 7th graders that, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Someone came in, zapped my estimation jar with a ray gun, and now we have this. And it was funny because children were laughing and some were saying, oh, it's going to be so much easier because it's smaller. Oh, you see where I'm going with this? Wait a minute. The items in it are smaller, and look at their shapes. This was huge for spatial understanding, for reasoning, for estimation, for the shape of a vessel, the geometry of the shape of the items that fill it. And we had so many conversation sparks from this. This is what I'm talking about, integrating the real world, making math fun. And by the way, Bill Gates, we'll take your money, but math will be fun. And making it relevant. And I'm going to pivot right now, New York State, because I'm literally sick to my stomach when I look at your released assessment questions, and they look like the very ones in 1999 and 2000 you released as demos for what you were going to do with your assessments and your standard-based learning. It's a travesty to our students, because when you shoot high and when you integrate, you bring up any student that's never been motivated by math to say, oh, I could use math for this. Well, I'm going to investigate and figure out how. And they can do that on their own now with AI. We can carefully use AI discerningly to give us just recall and factual information to use to solve real world problems. And I don't think the scaffold needs to be such that we need to spend 3/4 of our time on basic foundational skills that AI can quickly do. So I'm going to move to an idea, a brainstorm I had, which was the crux of my video series earlier, but I didn't necessarily give you a direct example in this fashion relating to mathematics driving something. And again, if you notice my placemats, I've got geometry and math within. And those are more examples of how teachers in the classroom, we need to maximize every opportunity to subtly have mathematics in the background. And believe it or not, your mind does pick up on that and think spatially and logistically about patterns and sequences and how things fit together and whether they can tessellate and the area that they fill. So my idea, here we go, okay? And it's free. This is what we need to be doing right now. At the state level, this needs to become what we're pushing towards. And it's not up to teachers, because the parameters are in place by an antiquated system that they can't do this. They can't, because they have to teach to a test. So we think about climate. We think about economics, we think about the real world problems, and we think about bees, and we think about the food chain in science, and we think about what bees play a role in doing for us and our health, and overall for what's going to happen to our climate and this world. Think about the food chain and the environment, pollination, sunflowers. And I threw in Fibonacci, yes, sunflowers and Fibonacci. Think about the size of a sunflower, the size of the land we would need, its food source potential for birds as well, and the results or impact it might have. And when we do that and we start to develop interdisciplinary learning like this, we involve science, climate, health, art, ELA, social studies, environment, agriculture, and finance. So all those literacies are rolled into one. That's how it is in the real world. We don't, as adults, parcel out each of our disciplines. So I went to the dollar store, and you can get these little pill containers that look like flowers. And I think that's a good start, especially in the lower grades, to start thinking about geometry. And a great thing would be to trace a circle and put this inside of it and start talking about the area, right? And how it almost fills a circle. And there are lots of geometry in that. And sectors, boom. And then we start to apply math, and I have some sunflower seeds here. And we start to think about the sunflower seeds in the flower and how many each flower could hold. And then we start to think about how many bees and birds that would support. And by the way, please bring in sunflowers and look at those Fibonacci spirals. So just think about that. Think about how much math is packed into this. And then if we start to think about economics and how much money it would cost just to raise the sunflowers, the water sources that right now are depleted, how are we going to come up with that to feed the sunflowers in drought areas? Social studies, where would we grow all these sunflowers? Finance, of course, that's all tied to it. That's economics. What else? I'm going to leave this up to you. My rambling is going to stop. It's out of frustration, and someone once told me it's because you're so passionate, and they saw that. And I don't need to say, wait a minute, my undergrad was Calc 1, 2, 3, Advanced Calc 1, Advanced Calc 2. I'm tired of hearing that. That is my undergrad and beyond in my master's level math. I don't care. I don't care that you know all that. If you can't be relevant to the students and come up with a model that supports their future, it doesn't matter how educated you are. It doesn't matter how much of a guru you are, how many awards you won, what you do for a living. All it matters is whether or not you're in it for the kids. Thank you.